Welcome to Moments with Marianne. I'm so delighted we're spending this time here today. We have a very inspiring show coming right up with special guest Ken Honda, and he's here today to share with us his new book, Happy Money: The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. So money and happiness expert Ken Honda is a best-selling self-development author in Japan, with book sales surpassing 7 million copies since 2001. Ken studied law in Tokyo and entered the Japanese workforce as a business consultant and investor. His financial expertise comes from owning and managing several businesses, including an accounting company, a management consulting firm, and a venture capital corporation. His writings bridge the topics of finance and self-help, focusing on creating and generating personal wealth and happiness through deeper self-honesty. Ken provides ongoing support through mentoring programs, business seminars, therapeutic workshops, and correspondence classes. He was also the first person from Japan to be voted into the Transformational Leadership Council, which is a group of personal and professional development leaders. So let's welcome to the show, Ken Honda.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, Marian, and thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
What a joy it is to have you here. Once I heard about this book, I had to have you on the show to talk about this.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, I have to ask you, what inspired you to write this book?
To talk about it, it takes like 3 days, but my shortest version is I was inspired to write on happiness and money because so many of us are struggling with money, and especially now, we are in the flow of unhappy money. That's what makes us unhappy. So that's why I was inspired to write on happy money so people can live in the flow of happy money.
Well, and throughout the course of just human history, we've gone through many times where money has been very unhappy for many of us.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the key factors that you see that hold people back?
Now, money is a very interesting thing. It triggers a lot of emotions inside you without knowing it. So, most of us were born and brought up in a family where money was tight, or even we're brought up in a financially comfortable situation. We're often told about money by our parents. You shouldn't waste your money, you have to be careful. So, we are scared of money. We have been scared of money for all our life. And especially now, since many people are losing jobs and money is tight, and it gives you feeling. So a lot of people think that money is a scary thing, but in fact, money is a neutral thing. It could make you happy or it could make you very unhappy. Either way, depending on how you view money and how you have a relationship with money, that determines your happiness.
Well, so let's talk about happy money versus unhappy money. So,
Mhm.
what comprises the two?
What's interesting is it doesn't really matter how much you have or how much you make. It's about your attitude. So the happy money people appreciate money coming in, and when they spend money, they also appreciate somebody that they're paying to because they're receiving some kind of services in exchange for money. So they appreciate money coming in, money going out. But most of us, unfortunately, feel upset or frustrated when money comes in, like, oh, this much? And then when we spend the money, oh, I don't want to spend money. So either way, there's this flow of frustration and anger, resentment, and sometimes sadness. So most of us are triggered with the flow of money. And unfortunately, most of the emotions are negative. That's what makes the flow unhappy money. And if you're in a unhappy money flow, you cannot feel peace, you cannot enjoy life because we are constantly worrying about money. We've been almost abused by money.
So, during this really difficult time, what are some ways that we can invite money into our lives?
So I think it's the same about life because your attitude toward money and life are very identical. Most of us are frustrated because not much is coming in, but if you can start appreciating what you have or what's coming in, that attitude will send a message to the world. For example, one of my students was a single mom secretary who was getting low pay from her boss. So she was always complaining about the situation. But since she learned about this happy money idea, she thought, wow, I really forgot about appreciating my boss because he hired me even though I don't have a college degree. That's what she said. So she started appreciating him and just say thank you, or no, not super something. Just she wrote a simple card to him, and a few weeks later, she got a big raise because obviously her boss felt appreciation, so he wanted to do something back to her. So appreciation really works miracles, and I think in this age, it's going to work you more miracles than ever.
Well, I think this is like the perfect time when we talk about happiness versus money and how maybe money really can't buy happiness.
Mm-hmm. But money can give you certain comfort level. If you don't have money, you always have to struggle to make both ends meet, which is not so happy experience. So you have to have a certain amount of money so you can forget about money. So one of my mentors taught me when I asked him to teach about money, he said, my number one lesson before I teach you money is forget about money. And I was so confused because why do I have to forget about money when I want to learn about money? Because he said, if you forget about money and focus on what you're giving, then you'll be wealthy later on. But if you just obsessed with money and how much you're trying to get, people will run away from you. So money is a very, for me, Zen idea that I'm so fascinated with this because over the years, I've learned how to appreciate money, how to appreciate people. And in the process, what I appreciated. So I'm financially independent. I have nothing to worry about my personal life. I'm more concerned about unhappy situation that people are in. So appreciation is really the key to open the first door.
So how long does it take for someone, because I know you do a lot of seminars and
Mhm.
coaching and that kind of thing. How long does it take for someone to get to a place where they can leave those negative emotions behind and get to happy money?
Actually, it takes only 2 seconds to get this Zen enlightenment. All you have to do is when money comes in, when you receive a check or when you receive a check from the government or whatever the source is, you just say arigato or thank the money, thank you to the money. And when you spend your money, also say thank you to the money going out of your life. So thank you for coming in. Thank you for going out. That's as simple as that. And I think anybody can do it. And it doesn't cost anything. And you're not taking a risk. So as long as you say thank you in your mind.
Well, I'm so glad that you shared that. I mean, I thought your book had so much great information for people to make changes today and really pivot their feelings and thoughts around money.
Hmm. What's interesting is that a lot of us have been struggling with money, no matter how much we have or how much we make, because money is an addictive substance. Once you are good at making money, you are hungry for more money. So you're almost driven to make more money. I know some of you have some family members or relatives or friends who are just driven to make more money, even though they have zillions of money, and it's and almost like an addiction. And also, there's another type that you constantly worry about money. Could be your mom, dad, your family members. That's also an obsession too. So you're either addicted to worrying about money or making about money, or some people are addicted to spending money. So either way, we're all of us are stuck in some ways.
Oh man, you just touched on a lot that I want to unpack here.
Yes.
Well, why don't we start with the whole like the ancestral portion of money? Because
Mhm.
I found that very interesting. I'd love for you to share that with us.
I've done a lot of money counseling. I was doing an accounting job and consulting job, and in the process of having consulting with CEOs and executives, I realized that they have some issues with money. And when I ask them to talk about it, it usually brings them back to their childhood. And what I found fascinating was that their money's belief system was formed when they were small. And why? It's because they're taught about money in a certain way from their parents. And where does it come from? Actually, their grandparents. So, where does it come from? It's from grandparents. So, the reason why he couldn't spend money, even though he was making so much money, is because he had this fear, unreasonable fear about not about spending. And he found out he was told that don't spend money because one day you run out of money. That's a fear planted by his parents. And where does it come from? It's from his grandparents who experienced hardships in the age of Great Depression in 1930s. So he suffered so much about not being able to spend money in a happy way because he was bound by this belief system that he got it from 100 years ago through his parents and grandparents. And it's not him, it's about me too. It's about probably you, all the listeners. I'm sure there are so many things that your parents used to say, even though they're passed away, that voice is still inside you when you open your wallet or when you try to spend your money. And it's almost comical that what we're doing are so heavily influenced by somebody who don't even know their names 100 years ago, and that they're your distant family members.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I can't remember how many times I've heard money doesn't grow on trees, you know?
Yes.
And so you hear these different stories that our
Mm-hmm.
parents come in with their parents and so on. And it's like, how do you get to a place where you can heal those, emotional wounds like around money?
Yeah, that's what I teach, and that's what I'm excited about most because so much healing needs to be done. And I think, especially in this time, because we're all brainwashed to believe in scarcity. So, the reason why we cannot spend money is when we spend money, the money decreases from our bank account. So, what we spend will be gone forever. In fact, it's not. But we are brainwashed to believe what we spend is our loss. Actually, what we spend is somebody's gain. So by spending money, you're circulating the money. But in our very limited mind, spending is losing. But it's because we are not healed. And when we are just looking at the issues, global economical issues, all of us are connected so deep inside in so many areas, both spiritually, mentally, and also economically too. So if you get this idea and you get this almost like an enlightenment situation, wow, we're all connected. So you don't have to worry about money as long as we are in this flow. So when you realize that we're in this beautiful big flow of money, wow, does this mean that I don't have to worry about money? Does this mean that I have to just, desperately seek jobs to give us stability? So, in order to do those, you have to really go back to your childhood and start talking with your parents in your mind and start hugging yourself when you're 4 or 5 or 10 when you were denied your soccer lessons, piano lessons, and the things you wanted so badly, but because of money, you were turned down. So if you start healing those moments of hurts, I call it money scars, you can start healing inside. And as your healing processes, somehow the fear around money and fear about what's going on in the world will be gone too. So I hope you just start healing your money pain.
So, have you come across people who are very wealthy that have emotional wounds around money as well?
In fact, a lot of wealthy people have stronger scars. The reason why they're so successful is that they never stopped. I kind of stopped in the middle because I realized that I don't have to be super wealthy. But a lot of people who end up being very wealthy had so much emotional scars and issues. That's why they were driven so much to make it. So many of them were born and brought up in a poverty. You've heard a story from rags to riches. Those stories tell us that the more scars you have when you're small, they wanted to do something to compensate for the scars. That's why I ended up being wealthy. So I've done a lot of healing around these money scars with highly successful individuals. And even though they're in their 70s, they just cry like a baby because their childhood memory is still so strong in them. They are billionaires, but it doesn't really matter what's inside and what's crying in them. They're like 5-year-old boy who doesn't know what to do in his life, and they're as lost as they were 70 years ago.
Yeah, I've known a few millionaires who most people would have never known,
Hmm.
that they were. They lived a very frugal life, and at the time of their passing, left millions of dollars to universities or
Hmm.
different other places like that. And it was really interesting because it always seemed that they maybe didn't have enough in life.
Hmm. Yeah. So, um, it's up to you. If you want to heal the money wounds, you'll be happier and you feel less stress about spending money and receiving money. And if you realize that, oh, I was so stressed out with money, uh, uh, that happens when you are out of the trance. Most of us, all of us, in fact, are in some form of trance about money. Unless you get out of the trance, you never realize that you are in this almost like hypnotism that money is so super important.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I know in your book you talk about money types, and I'd love for you to share one or two of those with us.
As I said before, there are money warrior type and also spending type. I can talk about the making type too, but you can probably easily imagine among your friends, oh, she's a spender, she's a warrior, and she's a money maker. So what's interesting is that even though we're born and brought up in the same family, same household, somehow our brothers and sisters become very different people. It's because of their money type. Your sister was always complaining about the money that she didn't get as allowance, and she asked more. She fought with her parents, and I'm sure she ended up being a spender who loves to spend on clothes, dining out, travel. And by the way, they are perfect friends because they buy you dinner, they take you for lunches, and they are fun people. And also, there's other kind, money warrior. They worry about money. They end up being a saver too because they constantly worry. It doesn't really matter that they're making money because one day the money could be gone. What if the bank closes, or what if U.S. economy is going down, or what if? And it's a constant obsession that someday you'll be in trouble. So there are so many types, and it's so much fun to research who you are. I think on my website there's uh, your money type finder, so you can just find who you are, and usually a combination of a few. For example, money warrior ends up being a money spender, money saver, because they want to save money so they don't have to worry about money. But and this cycle of saving money, worrying money, never ends. So you end up being a wealthy person, but you cannot spend. But what's interesting and what's so exciting is that somehow money saver type gets attracted to money spender. So they become a couple and they come to me and it's almost like a comedy that they talk about. I mean, they shouldn't have married to begin with if they are complaining about it. But we tend to be attracted to those who are opposite money type. So that's a mystery of life.
That is a mystery of life, isn't it?
Yes.
So, is there any piece that can be in a household like that where you have a spender and someone who's extremely, frugal with their money?
hmm So what I teach is very Zen because in Zen, being neutral is very important. So in my mind, being a spender, being a moneymaker, they're sort of off the track. So that's why actually they need a partner who teaches you. You shouldn't keep making money. You should spend, enjoy spending. And also the spender needs to know that you have to start making money if you want to keep spending. So they tend to kind of get together. So what's important is appreciate or at least respect different money types because they believe saving money is a key to life, or they believe worrying about money is a key to life. They believe making money is a key to life. And if you're a spender, you're a loser. If you're money maker, you're just loser because you're not enjoying life. So we strongly believe it's almost like a religion. Who we are is right. And unless you let go of being right, you cannot be happy with your partnership and also with who you are and also in society. So, and it's all interconnected.
It seems very much that it is, and you really have this, narrowed down in a way that people can easily understand their relationship with money, how
hmm
they handle their money, and how to also fix that relationship.
Yes, and my book is such an easy read. I'm often told by 10-year-old boy, "Hey Ken, your book is so easy to read," and I feel offended a little bit, but I'm enjoying because even a young boy can really get this idea because they've seen that their parents, uncles, and aunts and neighbors, they kind of know who they are long before they pick up my book. And they say, "Oh, my uncle is this type, and my aunt is that type, or your cousin is that type." And it's so interesting. Even in grade school, I can really tell if that 8-year-old is a spender or a moneymaker. He will be a moneymaker. It's all in almost like a system.
So your book is simple to read, but very profound. We'll add that to it.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. So, and it has me thinking, when we look at your book and the information in regards to happy money, is there a spiritual component to this?
Yes, I think money could be very spiritual because it opens up doors to spirituality too. So I I write my books in many different levels. I've written more than 60 books in my life, and all the books are written in a way that where you are will be reflected on from your book. So um, there's a lot of spiritual element into this book too, because when you look at money from a spiritual level, I think money is there on this planet, so we can all grow. All of us have some issues, and I think money can really draw out of your system. It brings the best and worst in you, and I think that's why money is so spiritual. And even though a nice, fun, loving person in the daily life, he or she could be super upset over money, and it's because of this money's interesting system to pull out from you the best and the worst part.
Isn't that the truth, right? So,
Mhm.
but it really shines a light on the areas that we need to focus on and maybe really look deep and say, okay, I need to make some massive changes here.
Mhm.
So, why don't you share with us a little bit if, because I know that you mentioned children before, young people that are reading your book and really getting a lot from this. How is Happy Money different for them?
What's What's interesting to me is they look at their parents as a role model, either good or bad. So I was told by um, woman who's in her 40s, and I think she has 10-year-old boy. And when they go out shopping, uh, her son keeps telling or asking his mom when she was trying to spend something on her clothes. He said, "Mom, is this a happy money you're spending?" So, they know instinctively that there's happy money and unhappy money. So kids are so um, beautiful because they know what's going on in the world, even though they're not educated in the way we are, but they know in essence that what we are doing is so stupid. So they can tell if your parents are spending happy money or unhappy money. So I'm so grateful that the next generation people can tell the difference. So whenever they make money or spend money in the future, they will always ask themselves, is this a happy money I'm receiving? Or is this a happy money I'm spending? And this checking system really opened doors for you to realize that who you are and going with who you are is very important than making more money or doing successful business in your life.
Well, I understand you have a beautiful, special relationship with your daughter. What is
Mhm.
one of the main things that you have taught her about money as she's grown up?
I've always told her to look at people uh, in a way that not many people look at. We are so disguised by how they look or how successful they are or how famous and stuff like that. But I've always asked my daughter to see from the perspective of happiness. Is this person happy or is this person not happy? And if she or he is not happy, why? And over the years, she realized that being happy is nothing to do with what we do. It's more of who we are. So unless we're not content with who we are, we cannot be happy. So she knows she's very young, but she already knows that you have to be true to yourself. Otherwise, even though you are the wealthiest person on this planet, you'll probably be very miserable. But even if you have no money, if you're surrounded by beautiful friends and if you're doing very important work and you know that you're making a difference, you are the happiest person on the planet.
Well, Ken, my goodness, we could talk all day long. I just love your energy. I love your book, Happy Money. What final thoughts do you want to leave our listeners with today?
Thank you. So from this time, I think the best time and the worst time of your life will probably happen in the next few years. So please remember, um, whenever you receive money, appreciate arigato your money. And whenever you spend money, you can also appreciate money. As long as you start appreciating money coming in, money going out, it's the same thing with your life. Whatever happens to your life, can you appreciate what you receive? And whatever leaves your life, could be your partner, your job, or your money, can you appreciate them for being with you? And if you start appreciating this cycle in your life, you will stay being happy no matter what happens. So please find your happiness and who you are. I think that's the most important key to happiness.
Oh,
And
that's so
stay safe.
beautiful. I love that. Well, Ken, where can our listeners connect with you and be part of your community?
Thank you. I don't have a big community in English speaking world yet, but you can find all the information at kenhonda.com, KenHonda as a car. So it's probably easy to Google me. And there's all kinds of information you can download for free. and you can check who you are. And I teach Money EQ. So if you are interested in learning, please join our community. And I hope your life will be blessed with happy money from now.
Well, Ken, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you, Marianne. It's been such a beautiful time, and please have a beautiful evening, and please have a great time, everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Ken. It has been such an honor to spend this time with you, and of course, to talk about your new book, Happy Money. Happy Money is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all indie retailers. And if you don't see it on the shelf, ask for them to order it. And of course, it's available on Kindle. Again, if you'd like to connect with Ken and learn more about this book and also his work, please visit kenhonda.com for more information. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. You're listening to Moments with Marianne. And remember, make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just what moment will change your life forever. Moments with Marianne airs every Friday and Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.